In this particular example, we've been asked to find the equation of the tangent line to the curve y equals cosecant x at x equals pi over 4. In order to find the equation of the tangent line, we need not only the x-coordinate of our point, we also need its corresponding y-coordinate. So what we're going to do is take the function y equals cosecant x, and we're going to substitute pi over 4 for x. We know that cosecant x is equal to 1 over sine x, so y in this case is going to equal 1 over sine of pi over 4. The sine of pi over 4 is a root 2 over 2. And using a little bit of manipulation here, we can solve for y. At one point we have to rationalize the denominator, and we learn that y is equal to the square root of 2. As a decimal, that is approximately 1.414. Now that we have the x and y coordinate of our point, we can now go about finding the equation of the tangent line. We first start by finding our derivative of our function. Y prime is going to be equal to negative cosecant x cotangent x. So we now have to substitute in our x value, pi over 4, in for x. So we've got y is equal to negative cosecant pi over 4 times cotangent of pi over 4. This expression will give me the slope of the tangent line at x equals pi over 4. So the cosecant of pi over 4, we learned earlier, was just a square root of 2. The cotangent of pi over 4 would be the reciprocal of the tangent of pi over 4. And from pre-cal you should know that the tangent of pi over 4 is 1. So the cotangent would also be 1. When we multiply that all out, we learn that the slope of the tangent line at x equals pi over 4 is equal to negative root 2 over 2. So we write y is equal to mx plus b. And this is our equation of a linear function. And at this point we know what m is, our slope. We know that it is a negative root 2. So we substitute that in. The only thing we need to find is b, our y-intercept. So to do that, we are going to substitute in our point pi over 4 and root 2. Pi over 4 is substituted in for x, root 2 is substituted in for y. Then we rearrange and solve for b, our y-intercept, and learn that b is equal to the square root of 2 plus root 2 times pi divided by 4. We merely substitute that in to our equation for our linear function, in this case the equation of the tangent line, and we learn that y is equal to negative root 2x plus root 2 plus root 2 times pi divided by 4. If you chose to work that out in decimals, which isn't quite as accurate, you get that y is equal to negative 1.414x plus 2.525.